do the research and homework yourself, but try to understand why the experts, I want to say uniformly, will advise you not to co-sleep and to put your newborn baby down in its own bed space, a bassinet on its back with no pillows, blankets, stuffed animals, nothing else other than a fitted sheet that goes around the mattress and won't come off, because it's the safest practice for your newborn baby. Look up SIDS, Dad. You've probably, you may be watching this video, and if you come this far along, you may have heard about it in the prenatal process. It's a thing. It's a thing that I think in 2023, if you scour the internet, it seems like we don't quite understand, and I don't presume to have all the answers, although I will tell you, they say that back is best because babies that sleep on their back seem to suffer far fewer rates of fatalities from SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome, than babies that don't sleep on their back, sleep on their stomach. Those rates, those differentials also seem to apply for sleeping in its own bassinet versus co-sleeping in a family bed. Why is that? Again, my personal opinion, whether it's worth 2 cents or more, it's suffocation. These are babies that suffocate. Maybe there's a fraction of cases, especially historically, looking back through the windows, through the lens of time, that, there were cases of child abuse or something. I don't know, things we don't necessarily want to think about. But I think by and large, I just, as much research as I've done, and I'm not a doctor, folks, but I'm just telling you, my personal belief and conviction is that these are not, this is some weird unknown epidemic or cause of spontaneous cessation of respiratory processes in a newborn baby, that they just spontaneously stop breathing for no reason at all. I think those are babies that are suffocating. They have very immature systems, including their respiratory systems. If they're sleeping on their stomach, generations, maybe hundreds of years, millennia, babies have slept on their stomach and it's fine. But occasionally, and SIDS doesn't happen to the general population at alarming rates, but it's a thing that could happen and has happened in the past. And frankly, since the, Back is Best campaign has gotten off the ground, you will hear that some of those rates have declined. At the end of the day, I guess what I'm saying is, talk to the experts, listen to them, learn as much as you can. Feel free to form your own educated, studied, considered, thoughtful, well thought out opinion about it. But for my money and for my part, I'm going to urge you to put this baby down in its own bassinet on its back with nothing obstructing it, so that it can't inadvertently, suffocate because of a blanket or a pillow. And it's a newborn baby that will not even know what's happening. And God forbid something like that should happen to any of us, right? Co-sleeping in the family bed, I think, also presents issues of parents inadvertently suffocating their babies by rolling over on top of them. And my God, I know we all know people that choose to go that route. No one can tell you what to do with your newborn, but I just think if you sit with it for a while and really think about it, it's not going to be what you're going to want to do. And you have to at least take the word of experienced parents who will tell you how tired you can be in the 4th trimester, how completely exhausted and tired mom can be. My wife would tell me that she really felt like she was literally going to fall asleep holding the baby, breastfeeding in the middle of the night. And I believed her. And I do believe her. And it's not because she was a bad parent or she wasn't trying very, very hard not to drop that baby. Maybe it's another reason that's a 2-person job. Somebody to make sure mom doesn't drop the baby. It's not her fault. We're talking about sleep deprivation on a unusual scale, that if it went on and on for any longer than that, if it was being done purposely, we might call it torture. Okay? We're not designed to subsist and carry on like that for very long. So if a mother with the best of intentions can fall asleep and drop her breastfeeding baby on the floor, then you can roll over on your baby in the middle of the night when you're exhausted and sleepy. And it's a newborn baby, and I just don't know if you're literally sharing the family bed the baby's in this bed asleep with you, how you can really be sure. And ask yourself how well you're going to sleep if something like that is gnawing at you all through the night. So don't do it. If you need to sleep in the same room with the baby, that's great. We did that for the early going. The bassinet was in the living room. We set up a command center, L or U-shaped sofa around the bassinet, and Mom and I basically slept there, or at least I slept there during my shift, 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. Mom slept there more or less throughout. Fine, you can do that. If you want to have a co-sleeping thing, whether it's a bassinet or some kind of a co-sleeper that you affix to your bed, but at least the baby has its own bed space, do that. But for the love of God, at least, look into it extensively and think about it very carefully before you co-sleep. I believe in my heart that I think if you co-sleep, you will have, it will be longer before your kid is sleeping through the night, and you'll have you will be creating additional hurdles that you'll need to cross or traverse to get to the place where you've taught your baby self-soothing skills, and that this baby can eventually be an infant that can put himself to sleep and stay asleep, or if he wakes up, self-soothe and put himself back to sleep without your intervention.